We're finally back after a little bit of a break, and we are going to be talking about the heart chakra, but we may not be back for a little bit after that because I have come upon hard times gardening. Oh, did I even tell you how I did it?
You said gardening, but you didn't tell me, like, were you on that wall?
I was. So there's like that. There's like a wall that there's a wall that creates where I have all my herbs, and there's that next. So I have like one section cleared out, and then there's like another section that's and two sections of herbs, and then there's another section that's not cleared out yet. And I was up there with standing up with a shovel in hand,
It's
trying.
how tall, how high off the ground do you think that is? Like 3 feet?
Oh, that's like 4 feet. That comes up
Okay.
here. That's why I
Yeah.
wasn't doing it standing up, is because I couldn't get
Mm,
any leverage standing up. So of course
yeah.
I stood up and then lost my balance, and I actually fell backwards. And
Mm.
it scared me, and I flung my arm around, and and it completely went on total disarm. I was in such panic
Mm.
when I went in. The doctor's like, "How did you fall?" And I'm like, "I fell on my arm." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "Did you fall like this?" I'm like, "No." "But did you fall like this?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "This, yes, like that, like this, like this." That was crazy.
They when I first, so I don't snowboard anymore, but when I was like taking lessons for snowboarding, the first thing they said is if you're gonna fall, don't put your hands out because that's how you like break your arm and your wrist. And I'm like, okay, easier said than done. Like if
Then
I
what?
just
You're
like
supposed to like
fall.
break your head. I
Yeah.
know, like, although I was like wondering if I had like flipped my body all the way around and taken it
Mm.
with both hands, I think I would have been way better. Like if I
Yeah,
would have fought,
probably.
yeah, like way better if I could have
Yeah.
taken that impact and like put it
Yeah.
like.
You would have had to be a cat though,
And I'm not.
unfortunately.
I'm not.
Mm.
So the heart chakra. Let me see if I can. I'm maneuvering everything with my left hand and like trying to figure out which. I started the recording. You're gonna have to accept again.
No, 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 it's good.
Okay.
It's not prompting me.
Okay. Good. Okay. Let me. Yay! Heart chakra herbs. Here we are. Um, so Anahata. That is the name. And this is I love this. So there's two kind of things that people say that it means. It either means the sound that is made without any two things striking. So I don't know what that sound is, but you
Mhm.
can, huh. Or unstuck is the other one. So where is the heart chakra? Well, it's in your heart center. So it's like your heart. Right in the middle of your chest, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so this is an interesting thing too. I had one teacher who used to insist that it was green, that it was green, but inside it was a pink rose even, which is an interesting like addition because I've never heard the rose as anything involved with this. But
Yeah.
maybe she was also into a lot of that like what's the word? Oh, the angel stuff, like all like the
Oh.
real the ascended masters. That's what that. Thank you. That,
Mm,
yeah, she was all about ascended masters, and I don't do
mm,
ascended masters, so
yeah.
that kind
Mm,
of talk, like I really. So I don't know if that's like an ascended masters thing or not, but I'd never heard that. Anyway,
mm.
so the symbol though that we know about is the 12, it's 12 petal lotus, and inside is a six-pointed star. In the center is Shiva Lingam within a downward triangle. So that we were always seeing this downward triangle, which is an interesting feminine symbol. And then within this is a yam symbol, and I'll show these. So this is like the 12 petals with the six-pointed star. And then of course so
The
this is
yarn.
the full one as depicted by Judith Anodia.
Mm.
Or Anodia. I can never make out what her name is. Anyway, so also shown are the Isvara, god of unity, and Shakti Kakini at the base, and at the base is an antelope, and the antelope is supposed to represent freedom.
Mhm.
So, Anahata, the correspondences. The element is air. The verb is I love. The outer state is gaseous, and the glands are the thymus. The body parts are the lungs, the heart, the pericardium, the arms, and the hands. So I guess maybe this is the perfect time to discuss my sad state of affairs. It is.
Maybe it's trying to tell you need to focus more on your heart chakra.
Oh, I do, and it has. Let me tell you, I feel like there's been a series of unfortunate events here that have like drastically. I feel shooketh.
Mm.
So let's see. The body problems, though, which I do not have, is asthma or high blood pressure or heart disease or lung disease. The color, of course, is green. Some people say pink, the pink rose. The sound is lam or a, as in sleigh. So now again, we're into this tarot thing. So I guess it depends on how you view the tarot wands or swords. So if you associate the wands with air, then you should then it's associated with wands. But if you which I do, I associate swords with fire and wands with air.
That's interesting because I also associate wands with air, but it feels more like a fiery sword type of chakra almost.
You know what? I know it does feel like a fiery sword chakra. It does.
Yeah.
I want it to be, but the fire
Yeah.
is from before. It's airy, which is an interesting like conundrum, but I guess it's like so it's kind of like the more than air. It's like the place where like it's like the vital air, like the prana, like the exchange of oxygen for carbon dioxide that like makes us like live. It's like this, it's like vital air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the celestial body is Venus. The metal is copper, which is interesting because copper is also associated a lot with healing. There's a lot of schools of thought that and so is this. So the foods are green foods of all varieties, olive oil, algae. Minerals are emerald, tourmaline, jade, and rose quartz.
I would say especially watermelon tourmaline because it has the red and the pink in
The
it.
pink, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
Or
that.
not the red, sorry, the
The
green
pink,
and the pink.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the animal is obviously the antelope is in there, and then birds, and especially the dove. And the sense is touch. So, further correspondences. So the goddesses is Kushmanda, Lakshmi as preservers, Aditi, Urvasi, Aphrodite, Freya, and then I put Pan in there because I
Fair.
like Pan, so he can be in there.
Yeah. He's allowed.
Exactly. He can be out for a little bit, as long as it doesn't cause too much trouble.
Yeah.
Ma'at, Isis, Kuan Yin, Aha or Aja, and Demeter. So the force or quality is for equilibrium. The number is 12, obviously the lotus. The characteristic of the self is compassion, of course. And the woman psychic power that Diane Stein talks about is healing. So the characteristic of the self, like I've talked about before, is kind of like that parts work thing. That like like our highest self, when we get to our highest self, we realize that it has certain characteristics. And so one of the characteristics, every characteristic is associated with a chakra that I've created. I've done this together, and the characteristic that I've put with the heart chakra is compassion. So, and oh, it's the start of the spiral, and I hope I put this in. I know I did. So we've got 10 minutes here. I hope I put this in. You're gonna like this. Okay, look. So the start, this, okay, so look, so it's like, yes. So this is like there's like a spiral that, what's her name? Anodia creates that starts with the heart chakra. That's an interesting way to look at things, energy flow as well. So yeah,
interesting.
exactly. So in a nutshell, like your heart chakra is all about, of course, love, compassion for yourself and others, and affinity as well. So like things that you are attracted to, just your natural like friendliness and affinity and likability and things like that. So the first thing
I do one other thing too is that I think is interesting is that the heart chakra is seen as like the connector between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. And so it's almost like, I mean, that ties into the idea of the spiral, but it's like it's the transition point between like the self and the like earthy and the more rooted and like the me chakras, and then tied to like the external collective higher self chakras, which I think is also really interesting, that like I heavily tie into that being like the middle connector. I like that a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
So my first one is Nettle, and I just got Nettle, so it's interesting. I have Nettle that Nettle's acclimating.
Yeah, my little like co-op grocery store that I shop at just got bundles of Nettle that they started selling, so it must be like Nettle season.
It is, and I got stung with it a bunch. It doesn't hurt too bad. I don't know. People are, it like kind of like it's a little woo zinger. So it's Urtica dioica. Okay, and hold on, wait 1 second. There we go. That's truly what it looks like. I have that. That's what it looks like. And that's so the part and I didn't take a picture, of course, because it was I just got it. So the part used are the aerial parts and the roots and the seeds. And the other names for it are beggar's lice, Ortiga ancha, stinging nettle, devil's apron, naughty man's plaything, tangy nettle, scatty, hokey pokey, devil's leaf, hegbeg, jenny nettle, stingleaf, wergulu, and shishnu.
I love hokey pokey.
I know, I love it too. I love these names. I think these are like the best set of names I've seen yet. Devil's leaf. That's marijuana. That's devil's lettuce. Devil's lettuce is
Oh man.
so funny. So the nettle correspondences, see, the nettle's associated with fire. The planet is Mars. Astrological sign is Scorpio or Aries. So it does have that water tie too. The moon mansion is 2 or 11. Tarot card is Judgment, which is an interesting thing because I think that people don't really understand the Judgment card very well. Like it's a card of like community and of like drawing people together and like kind of creating like an us versus like them, like, but it's kind of like that part of like that us situation. So it's interesting. I like it. I like that for Nettle. Sabbat ritual is Samhain or rites of passage. And then so then goddesses. There's And I don't, how do you say that first one? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
Blodeuwedd?
It,
Blodeuwedd?
yeah, it must be Irish,
Mm.
so, or Celtic.
Yeah, they pronounce things in an
Yeah.
interesting way.
I know. I always love those. Sometimes they like do those where they like ask children or like teenagers to try to pronounce like the Irish names. They're like, "What are you talking about?" So, serpent goddesses, sun goddesses, and underworld goddesses. Soteria, in Greek mythology, is the goddess of safety, salvation, and protection from harm. She dons a crown of laurel wreaths, which is a sign of triumph, and she was venerated with both a temple and a statue in her honor at Betray, Greece. So, Soteria is associated with Nettles in particular,
Mm.
but also Pele, Isis, and mother goddesses, nurturers. So I was like, really, I put in like Ognyena Maria. Um,
Mm.
that we talked about her before in a ritual. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like Fire Maria,
Yeah.
which I love. And
Mm.
there she is.
Mm-hmm.
Maria. And then also elves and fae are associated with Nettle as well. In fact, I love Fire Maria for Nettle. Like that's like
Mm.
kind of my
Yeah.
like a fire, yeah, a
Fiery.
mother and a healer, but also like awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so plant information. Excuse me. So you need to harvest it before it flowers. And you're supposed to grow it near yellow dock and plantains to soothe its sting. And I assume it's even afterwards it would soothe its sting, is what it.
Mm-hmm.
So the stories, lore, cultural import, etc. So Ireland is the first place, and so wherever nettles would grow, it would show that this was a place where elves were, and it would be like a protected location for fairies and elves. And then there was a custom to feed your cows with the wilted nettles to protect them from their milk becoming cursed and their milk going bad, which may have had something actual. There may have been like a legitimate reason for that, for nettles.
Yeah. Some
Like
type of like antibacterial or something,
I
maybe.
don't know, but maybe I didn't even research
Mm.
it. And also, so Nettlemas night is the night before Beltane, and boys would sting each other with nettles on the street.
Nice.
I know, I like Nettlemas night. I think we need to bring back Nettlemas night.
I do too.
All for net. I have the nettle started. I'm ready. Coming up. Let's go. Nettlemas night. So then there's also some other stories. So there's Welsh stories that are very fun to talk about. So if you put it under a sick person's pillow and it stays green, they're gonna live. But if it turns brown, it's sure death. I don't know if I want to
I don't
do
know if
that.
I would want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. Do I want to know? It's kind of
Yeah.
like I saw this oh, that's what I'm watching Star Trek Discovery. And so there's
Mm.
like they touch like this Klingon time crystal and they see like their possible death, their possible
Mm.
demise. And I was like, yeah, like it's like the nettle under the bed. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's like the Klingon time
Mm.
crystal.
Yep.
Okay, so the Iroquois also had stories about this,
Mm.
and we've got less than a minute, so let's just end this here, and then we'll jump right back in with the Iroquois.